Pending before the Commission on Higher Education is a list of colleges and universities with petitions for tuition hikes. How soon will the CHED decide on these petitions? State universities and colleges are calling for a moratorium on these tuition fee hikes. Can it be considered by the CHED? Joining us tonight on NewsLife is the Executive Director of the Commission on Higher Education, Atty. Julito Vitriolo. He is also a PhD. Good evening, sir. Welcome to NewsLife.
Good evening and welcome to everyone.
Sir, how soon will you decide on the petition for tuition hikes, and what are the factors that will help you decide on the increase in these hikes?
Well, basically, by the first or second week of May, our regional offices will have a decision on whether or not the 451 HEIs who applied for tuition increase will be granted their petition. And then, of course, this will be based on the criteria provided by law and our regulation. And this will include, among others, the conduct of consultation among students, the faculty, and other non-academic personnel, including the alumni, and other documentary requirements mandated by law and regulation to be submitted.
Meaning, sir, if all of those requirements were not met, they wouldn't be able to be granted those tuition fee hikes?
Well, actually, just one. If they fail to achieve or comply with just one, that will be a ground for disqualification or disallowance for them to increase their fees.
All right, sir. Is there a limit on how much will be approved or a ceiling percentage? And will all those who applied be given the tuition fee hikes which they asked for?
Well, in terms of the cap, under the present framework on tuition fee and other school fees regulation, we do not have a cap or a ceiling because this is precisely the point of consultation with the sectors involved. And of course, the HEI intending to increase their fees they have to explain to the groups, the students, the faculty, and the alumni, the rates of increase that they're adopting, the purposes of the increase, and eventually down the line, probably some kind of a consensus. Although we are not very positive for any agreement, actually. So what is important is the dialogue or the consultation process will afford the parties the explanation of the institution, and then on the other hand, the objections of the students. So those things will be material when finally CHED approve or disapprove their application.
However, sir, the percentage of the hikes or tuition fee hikes, there is no limit. Basically, there's no 10% or even a minimum or a maximum of those tuition hikes.
Yes, because here, in this particular scenario, the so-called market forces will come in. No? The schools will not adopt a very high rate of increase. Otherwise, their enrollment and students will just transfer to other HEIs that did not increase their fees, or even in state universities and colleges. So historically, we've seen a trend where between 9 to 10% is usually the rate that prevails after the evaluation of this petition for increases in fees.
All right, sir. Moving on to another question, can a moratorium of tuition fee increases be implemented by the CHED, since this is a call of the state colleges and universities? Are the tuition fee hikes applying only to the private universities and colleges, or are the public schools also included in these?
Well, both public and private schools can increase their fees subject to rules and regulations provided by law and our regulation. But definitely, when it comes to the so-called moratorium, we feel that this should be addressed to Congress, because there is a law that allows, especially private schools, to increase their fees based only on the reasonable regulations imposed by existing laws and the regulation of the Commission on Higher Education. by the way, if you impose a moratorium right now, it will be a very temporary solution to the issue, because when it is over, then the colleges and universities can again adopt probably a higher increase in fees, because they have to adjust also to those times when they didn't increase their fees. So it is really counterproductive, so to speak, when you impose a moratorium on these fees.
So basically for the schools, it's for a business pattern for them, so in order for them to gain what they have lost.
Yes, of course, yes, they have to pay their teachers, they have to increase their salaries perhaps, or give additional incentives, then they have to acquire equipment and facilities. Basically, they have to adjust and take into consideration the prevailing rates of inflation, prices, and the like.
So earlier you mentioned that most of the colleges are going for the 9 to 10% increase rather than going higher, so it won't mean lesser enrollment. However, whenever there are tuition fee hikes, does that mean there will be lesser enrollment for colleges?
Well, not really. Right now, we have a very big enrollment in the higher education sector. 2-3 years ago, we have a level of about 2.7. Now, our estimate is between 2.8 to 2.9. It's actually, it has increased actually, but the ratios are quite different now. About 60% of our college enrollment in the private sector, while 40% is in the state universities and colleges or the public sector. So we do not see a sudden decrease in enrollment just because of the increases in fees. Actually, if there is a decrease, it will be very negligible.
Just
so
very minimal. Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right, sir. When you have the tuition fee increases, is it more on the students paying for the units or for the miscellaneous fees?
Well, both. Actually, right now, the regulation calls for consultation in both the tuition and other school fees. Unlike before, where consultation is only done if there's an increase in tuition. But now, any kind of increase in the structure or of the university, for instance, in the fee structure, has to be subjected to consultation.
All right,
so either way, the students are actually involved in the process.
All right, sir. The very last question, will the ban on oversubscribed courses like nursing and hotel and restaurant management that are very popular in the past few years, will this ban continue?
Yes, actually, we are aggressive in enforcing the standards, the policies and standards of CHED, and the moratorium in the at least 5 programs, including nursing, business courses, IT, and other oversubscribed courses will be in effect.
All right. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us here at NewsLife. This was Attorney Julito Vitriolo, Executive Director of the Commission for Higher Education. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.